Welcome to Making and Treating of Steels course. Today I am going to speak about lecture 29 about the e-treatment further classification e-treatment process. Here I am discussing about the temperature ranges for various e-treatment such as annealing, normalizing and spheroidization treatment, tempering and hardening, many other processes such as these particular processes mainly done for eutectoid steels. Eutectoid temperature, eutectoid 0.8% of carbon, weight percentage of carbon, and 910 degrees Celsius temperature for A3 and ACM temperature for 1100 degrees Celsius temperature. And this particular eutectoid steels are chosen or suitable for various heat treatment process such as annealing, normalizing and further classification in the annealing process, spheroidization annealing, stress relieving annealing, recrystallization annealing. This is the range of the temperature chosen for these treatment. For annealing and normalizing, these are the range of temperatures chosen based on the composition of the carbon. This is hypoeutectoid steel and this is hypereutectoid steels. For hypereutectoid steel, this range of the temperature is chosen for normalization, annealing, and mostly for the eutectoid steel, the eutectic temperature A1 temperature is chosen as annealing temperature. And this particular temperature ranges, these processes are discussed in the next slide one by one. First let me focus on, this is iron and iron carbide diagram. From the iron and iron carbide diagram, for the eutectoid steel, these heat treatments found to be suitable. Why these heat treatment processes are done? The properties which were not improved from the melting route and casting route and other secondary treatments and primary steel making as you produced, which can be improved by this simple treatment. The main heat treatment process is choosing a particular temperature and holding for long, that is soaking period of 1 hour, minimum 1 hour, and cool by choosing the various cooling medias. If it is within the furnace, we call it as a furnace cooling. If it is done air, we call it as a air cooling associated to the normalizing, and furnace cooling associated to the annealing process. And if it is done in the water, that is called hardening treatment. If it is done below this particular temperature, further removing the hot working and deformation process stresses, that is tempering process, which I am going to discuss one by one. The annealing treatment, full annealing, we call annealing treatment full annealing process. Fully the material becoming strain free, the strain which was induced from the deformation process, even from the melting and casting route, that particular strain will be removed off and ductility will be improved to increase the ductility. That is main purpose of full annealing treatment. The microstructure of the full annealing process, this is, if it is hypoeutectoid steel, this is the range of temperature A3, above A3. If it is hypereutectoid steel, this eutectoid temperature, this eutectoid temperature is chosen for the hypereutectoid steels. And the microstructure is coarse perlite. Coarse is nothing but perlite having interplanar spacing, high interplanar spacing from the ferrite band and cementite band. The interplanar spacing is high. So that is why it is called coarse perlite, which you would have seen the microstructures in physical metallurgy lab, and you would have studied these particular things in the physical metallurgy, phase transformation subject and physical metallurgy subject about the introductory things. Now let me focus more about heat treatment process. If the steel is heated above A3, that is for hypoeutectoid steel. If it is done for the A1 temperature, and that is for the hypereutectoid steel, then hold for an hour, that is soaking period. Then that particular steel is cooled within the furnace, that is just switching off the furnace. Within the furnace it will be cooled and brought down to the room temperature. Then you will see the microstructure. Before there was only the perlite bands, but after annealing you will see the coarse perlite. Perlite was become coarse perlite. After annealing treatment, the coarse perlite has low hardness and high ductility. Ductility is improved. Mainly the purpose of annealing is to increase the ductility. Okay. Now let me go for further classification within the annealing process, that is recrystallization annealing. This is the temperature which is chosen. The base diagram is iron and iron carbide diagram only. Why do you need this particular recrystallization annealing? What is the situation? What was the occurrence? Mainly during any cold working operation such as cold rolling process, the material becomes harder and harder. That is, by working of this process, work hardened. It means the ductility is decreased. How do you again overcome this particular problem? For overcoming this particular problem, this is because of the continued deformation. You need to continue further deformation to convert the billet to the sheet and thin sheet. So what you need to do is provide this particular heat treatment intermediately. What will happen is the grains, strain free grains, are recrystallized after cold working process. That particular grains are after cold working, strain free grains, or you call it as a cold working grains. Instead of recrystallized grains, we call it as a cold work grains. This particular recrystallization annealing is intermediate step. Whenever you observe the ductility is loosened after the tensile test is performed for that particular material, if that particular feedback is came after performing this treatment, you choose this particular intermediate step during the cold rolling process, stopping for a while and perform this heat treatment process. And to achieve this particular heat treatment process, it is heat that particular sample below A1 eutectoid temperature, hold for sufficient time to form recrystallized grains, that is cold work grains, and cool within the furnace itself. That is called recrystallization annealing. Now coming to the stress relief annealing. Now let us know how many ways the stresses are induced during the deformation process or forming process, mechanical working process, where the loads are applied. It could be the residual stresses may form within the steel because of differential cooling, because of machining, repeated machining, and because of the cold working process, and during the hardening process, mortar set formation, during the welding, because of the weld bead. At the weld bead, this temperature ranges, that change in the temperature range, these residual stresses may form. Now how do you remove this particular residual stresses from these particular process? The treatment is stress relief annealing. The temperature range is below A1 only for this process, and due to these particular various processes, as I mentioned, mortar set formation, welding, these residual stresses are developed in the steel sample, especially eutectoid steel. These particular residual stresses lead to disadvantages of warpage of component or fracture into the pieces after the working process. So how do you relieve, how do you relieve these particular residual stresses. The treatment chosen, based on the experimental study, it is suggested that heat the sample just below the A1, and where recovery is technical term, recovery is nothing but again annihilation of the dislocations. You would have studied in the mechanical metallurgy, physical metallurgy, this annihilation of dislocation is nothing but positive edge dislocation, negative edge dislocation coming together, and then it becomes strain free. The stresses because of this particular changes in the dislocation occurs by annihilation and polygonization chain. This positive and negative, these dislocations set together, that is nothing but recovery. Mainly by the recovery process is the mechanism for stress relieving the stresses which are formed. Now coming to the another annealing process, which is specific heat treatment process, mainly done for the high carbon steel greater than 0.8 till 1.5 percentage of carbon steels. Those particular high carbon steels, it is been found that because of the hardening nature, this particular high carbon steel, you need to provide the extensive machining for getting the good surface finish, and this particular thing is too much difficult. You need to provide much investment and the machining. What is the solution sought for this kind of problem is, and how do you increase ductility? If you increase the ductility, you can reduce this particular hardness nature. It is done by choosing a treatment just like stress relief annealing only, spheroidization heat treatment temperature below A1 and hold for an hour and cool within the furnace. This treatment and temperature, if you see the purpose, these particular three heat treatment temperature is this much, but purpose when you are doing for which problem to be overcome, which heat treatment is chosen, that is different. Temperature range, process, everything is similar for problem, and this is the specific solution. You need to remember this particular point. And holding for long time, what it happens, the mechanism is the cementite plates converts into the spheroids form, just like spear shape cementite spheroids. That particular spheroids gives an advantage to easy machine. So that is the solution for such kind of problems. Now the driving force mainly is the interfacial energy between these particular cementite plates is the formation of the cementite spheroids. Now give your opinion on this particular topic, that annealing treatment for eclectoid steel was chosen to obtain or increase its ductility. Is it true or false? Please give your opinion.